Hey guys, welcome to another World of Warcraft video, and for today's video we are going to go over the best way to level up in BFA, and basically it'll just be some tips and secrets that I've learned along the way, and I'm also going to give you a little info of what to expect after your 120. So yeah, let's start. Step number one, get your vocals out, yell at the top of your lungs for the Alliance. Okay, go do that. Did you do it? Yeah? Okay. So now you're in hype mode. Good job. You're rooting for the right team. Excellent. Okay. Second, this next step is something that I already did on stream, but I feel like it's very important, and it is bag space and bank space. So I'll open up my bags here. So as you can see, I went through my bags. Those that watch my streams regularly know that most expansions I struggle to have even like, usually the inventory is filled up to right around that line. So I end up with like maybe 10 extra bag space. So this is like a huge accomplishment right here to have it that empty. Second of all would be your bank. Now my bank to a lot of you might still look pretty full, but this is also a huge accomplishment. So this is what my bank looks like right now, and yeah, when it comes to my bank, I'm lucky if I even have one spare slot in there. So yeah, that is also an accomplishment right there. And yeah, so that's that. And also your reagents. I think mine are actually really good for reagent. Yeah, I emptied out a lot. It was like packed, not even one empty slot. So, and that's gonna get emptied out even more. So yeah, so that should definitely be your next thing you do. Another thing would be your quest log. I don't know if I've worked on that one yet. Actually, I've cleared quite a bit. So yeah, and I've got a few hand-ins here, so that'll clear even more once I hand in. So yeah, you want to try to get as many quests out of there as possible. This is actually an accomplishment as well, because I'm always max on quests, so I must have deleted some to prep for BFA, because yeah, there's no way that I accidentally had 13 over 25. Like I'm always maxed. So maxed, in fact, that this quest here has had to be put on hold for like, I would say almost a year, because when I go out there I just can't grab all the quests together, and I hate grabbing one by one. So yeah. Okay, now the next thing, there's a couple of items that are pretty good for leveling. They're not must-haves, but they definitely are handy. One is the Goblin Glider. So yeah, that would definitely be handy. Another one would be the Water Strider mount. I would definitely suggest that you get that on your hotbars, and that's this mount right here. So yeah, there is gonna be areas of water, and yeah, you're gonna want that guy. There's also the Sky Step potion. Basically that makes you sprint, and it's actually faster than ground mount speed. So yeah, it's a pretty good sprint, and it lasts for 8 seconds. But it's got a pretty short cooldown, so you could just keep using them. Another one would be the Draenic Swiftness Potion. That has a lot to do with swim speed. So it increases your movement by 70 and your swim speed by 200%. And the swim speed is actually higher than the water mounts would be. So it's definitely a good one to have. And also, just to cut myself off here, but I apologize if you guys hear like sirens. There is something going on down the street. It's not the typical sirens today. Like, I live right by a fire department, so usually I hear sirens. But yeah, those are not fire trucks. That is like cops chasing something, so I don't know. But anyway, another good one would also be the checkered flag. And that one increases your mount speed by 30%, but it lasts for 10 minutes. So yeah, it's a longer lasting one. There is something you have to do to get that checkered flag. It's at Dark Moon Fair. To get that, the achievement is the Big Race Roadhog. It'll be in your World Events tab under Dark Moon Fair. So yeah, once you do that and get the achievement, you'll have the checkered flag. So some other good ones, those are random things that are good to have now as far as like, you know, consumables. This right here, I would hold on to those. Keep those for your leveling process. They will still be good to use. The Drums of Fury, or Mountain, whichever one. You could take those along with you as well. You know, if you don't have hero or something. Another good one would be this Potion of Prolonged Power. That, as you can see, it increases your stats. That one's a really good one. And then this would be the other one, the Crispy Bacon. That is a good one as well. Another good one to have would be some food buffs. Personally, I would say that's up to your preference. Any food buff will do. This mount right here would be a good thing to also have on you. You know, if you don't have the money to get this particular one because it's a little more pricier to have the transmog guy, just the regular mammoth will do, as long as you got the vendor. That way you're not going back to town to have to vendor. So yeah, that would be a great one to have. A battle standard that you get with through your guild. Here, I'll show you through the perks. That would be, yeah, right there. There's yeah, there's these three. So that would be a good one to use as well. Another good thing, depending on where you have your hearth at, there is the Cloak of Coordination. If you're Horde, it sends you to Orgrimmar, and if you're Alliance, it sends you to Stormwind. Those would be very handy for your war mode. Another thing, now this one is an odd one because I don't think it's going to be available to you on your first character, but it might be handy for alt leveling. But in BFA there will be a new jewel crafting gem. It is called the Insightful Rubellite, and it increases your experience gained by 5%. So that might be worth keeping an eye out for as well. I imagine those are going to go for a pretty penny on the auction house. I did also, I had sent a email to WOWHEAD, more or less asking their permission to link some of their stuff with this video. And they were all for it, which I didn't think they'd really be against. It's like free promotion for them, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link in the description for each one of the classes and, you know, leveling specs. They're basically leveling guides from WOWHEAD, and for every spec you can look at, or for every class you can look at every spec on that same page, and yeah, they're pretty good. So if you're curious of what you should do for talents, what your rotation should be, what your best in slot legendary should be, you know, definitely check the description. All the links will be there, so that will also help you. Another thing is add-ons. There are some good add-ons for leveling. One would be this one right here, Sell Junk. Highly recommended. It is really good. There is a another one. It's called Azeroth Autopilot. That one skips cinematics. Personally, I wouldn't be skipping no cinematics on your first character in BFA. You know, you want to know what's going on. Cinematics are awesome. So, you know, maybe set it up for your alts, but have it like disabled until your alts come in the picture. One of the biggest reasons that people use it is for the leveling aspect of it. It does give out some routes for your leveling. There is another one as well called Faster Loot, and basically it's exactly as it sounds. You loot faster. The war mode. So as you can see, I don't have mine on right now, but and I can't turn it on because I'm in DAL. But war mode gives you 10% extra experience. I was testing out the war mode. I was on a lobby lock that was level 70, and it was very, very slow leveling, but I'm hoping BFA will be a little better. However, even although it was slow leveling, I would still suggest enabling it, because you're not really going to run into the opposite faction for quite a while. You're pretty safe with war mode. So even if you're that person that just wants to level, and you know, I get it, when it's my first character going into a new expansion, yeah, I don't want to fuck with PvP. I just want to get leveled, get that main to max level, and then we can, you know, we can do the PvP afterwards, after I'm, you know, max level or on an alt leveling. But, you know, for starters, I like to just do my stuff in peace. So I totally get if you're leery of enabling it, but like I said, the reason I suggest it is because for the first few levels, you're not going to run into the opposite faction. It's not going to be until you activate or start doing the war campaigns, which you wouldn't really be doing till like around 113 for level. So yeah. And then at that point you could turn it off if you wanted. This one isn't really an in-game one, but since we're getting close to the end of my tips here, I thought I would add it. Is prepare yourself, because unless you're absolutely casual, you're gonna want to hop in, get leveled as fast as possible, and when people get into that mode, they tend to take less breaks for food. You know, there's just less breaks altogether. So my suggestion is, for NA, it launches at 3 p.m. Pacific, right? So at noon, have a good lunch. you know? Eat something good. I don't even care if it's healthy. I'm not going to be that person that says, oh, you must have salad. No, I don't even care if it's healthy. Just make sure you get something in you and you get fed. And then after that, maybe make some snacks. You know, maybe cut up some cheese, get some crackers, you know, or make a couple of sandwiches, but get something that if you end up getting hungry during your gameplay, you can just quickly run to the kitchen, grab your snacks, or have snacks that can be set out and they'll be right beside you at the desk. Drinks is another good one. Yeah, once again, I'm not going to tell you what you should or should not drink. You know, obviously alcohol tends to make people fade out faster because if you get drunk, then, you know, you tend to go to sleep earlier. But that doesn't mean you can't drink, right? Just, you know, just have something. Whether it's juice or booze or whatnot, just make sure you got your food, you got your drinks. And yeah, so that would be my out of game advice. You know, another good one would be, you know, make sure your computer's running properly. Like if you notice it, you know, this week that it's being slower than normal, maybe do a scan on it, you know, see if you can get it to speed up a bit, maybe open up your tower and, you know, clean it up. It might be dusty in there. You know, do some maintenance on your system. Make sure that, you know, your launch is as good as it possibly can. Like, obviously, you know, Blizzard tends to, you know, have bad launches once in a while, so it's not always your fault. But you can always help it that much more just by making sure that your system is good for launch. Okay, so another thing worth noting is, as you can see, we have Dark Moon happening right now, which is very convenient for, you know, just before BFA. So there is one little trick you could also do to increase your leveling. However, the downfall is, as you see here, it ends at noon on Saturday, and we'd be going into BFA over here at 3. So basically the trick is you go into Dark Moon. You only got 2 days from, like, I'm posting this video today, so you only have till Saturday to do this. And you can spend your Dark Moon tickets on an item. Basically it's a hat, and it increases your experience and rep gained by 10% for an hour. So, so there's that. However, I've been told that the items vanish after the event happens. So what you would need to do is activate it and then log out. And do not log back in on that character until Monday. Okay, so we're done with tips and stuff. I'm just going to go over what you can expect in BFA. We'll just do like a quick little summary. So for starters, if you are Alliance, you'll want to start out in Drustvar, then go to Storm Song, and then Tiragard. If you are Horde, start in Valden, then go to Nazmir, and then go to Zuldazar. So basically, when you first start, you get to your beginning area. I would immediately go get your whatever you can learn as far as professions, so that you're good to go out in the world there. Set your Hearthstone there if you want. As far as War Campaign, don't start it yet. You know, that can be done in like a couple of levels later. And then you just start questing. start questing, collect resources and stuff. And then when you're done with that, that first area, you should have gained a couple of levels by that point. So you'll go back to your faction place and do the ship quests that are there for the war campaign. At this point, if you have war mode on, you might want to shut it off because this will start putting you into the other factions places. Also at around that level, you'd have your followers. You'd have access to them, so you could throw them into a quest line. And then you'll go to your next zone. And by the time you're done that zone, you probably will have gained an extra 4 levels. So at this point, you should be around 117. And then you can go back to your faction place, do some more quests for the war campaign. And then when you hit 118, there's going to be some new stuff that unlocks. For the Horde, it'll be the Zaldazar, and for Alliance, it'll be the Jaina quest lines. So you could start those and finish them, and you'll only gain like 1 level within that time. So now you're at your last level that you need. And, you know, at that point, go do whatever. Just do whatever you think will knock out 1 last level. You can finish some quest areas up. So, okay, so at that point, you're 120. You're max level, so congratulations on that. And then you go back to your ship, and you'll pick up some quests there. You should get a new whistle. Yes, there will be whistle in BFA as well. And you should have access to your world quests. Then at that point, you could go do your daily stuff, and I will go over some of the daily stuff that you can do. Okay, so for weeklies, what you want to try to get done is your main should always have, like, I would say 10 mythics done, and then do your expedition quests. For daily stuff, you've got your world quests, you have heroic dungeons. I guess mythics could fit in the daily as well. You might still have some quests for leveling. And then, of course, you have your follower missions. So that's what you'll be doing weekly and daily. So basically, from my understanding of BFA, it's an alt-friendly expansion so far. Fingers crossed. So if you're max level and you've, done all that, done, all the dungeons and, missions and all that, then I would say it's safe to bring in another character. So if you want to start leveling an alt, at that point, I think you'd be safe to do that because you've done the big stuff. And honestly, if you manage to get all that done in the first week, that's awesome because there's a bit of time before the raid releases. The raid will release, here I'll bring up the calendar. It's set to release on the 4th. So you got a little time, you could bring in alt. So for the first week, I would say just focus on getting your main leveled, get those dailies and those weeklies done, and if you still have time after that, then you can start working on an alt. For your second week, you want to be basically farming shit, I would say. Farm some rep, some AP. For your third week, you basically want to be doing the same shit, farm rep, farm AP, do more dungeons, get your item level higher up there. You really want to be working on that item level because you want to be ready for the raid when it drops. one thing that, I will mention just for some new people that might be unaware of this, but normal raids come out before LFRs. So when the raid drops on the 4th, you're not going to be able to just go queue up for an LFR. The LFRs are always after. So we probably won't even, I don't even know if I see it on the calendar, but we probably won't see it for a couple of weeks. It's usually a couple of weeks after. Yeah, there we go. So yeah. So LFR won't even come into the picture till the 25th. So yeah. So the 4th will be normal and heroic. The 11th will be mythic. And then you're waiting till the 25th to get into LFR. So definitely you want to be geared so that you can go in pretty much right away. Another thing worth mentioning is I read on a post earlier this week that the Mythic Zeros will be available real quick after launch. It was actually really weird. I had to reread it a few times to make sure I was reading it right. But yeah, they plan on doing the launch at, Monday, 3 p.m. Pacific. And then the Tuesday reset is when Mythic Zero would be available. So yeah, if you can level, really fast, meaning in less than 20 hours, you could get in the Mythic Zero right away, pretty much. Okay, so moving on to rep stuff. Rep is pretty important in BFA. One key factor here is that the Champions of Azeroth rep actually determines what item level your neck piece is going to be. So yeah, I would say it's very important to get that Champions of Azeroth rep. Okay, as far as the professions go, from what I hear, it's supposed to be a hell of a lot easier than it was with Legion. A lot of you guys that have done professions in Legion are probably well aware that there was a lot of halts occurring where you'd get kind of halted at quest lines and stuff like that. Now, my understanding is that there is still some quest lines involved, but nowhere near as bad as Legion. Okay, and I feel like I probably should end this video pretty soon here. I feel like I've been going on a little long, but I just wanted to get some info out for you guys. So I'm going to end it with one question that some of you guys may have, and that would be, what item level do you need to do the first raid? So the first raid, the loot that drops out of it is LFR is 340, normal is 355, heroic is 370, and mythic is 385. And another thing worth noting, kind of having to do with that, is the Mythic +5 drops the gear level of normal. So yeah, if you could get into the Mythics, I'm not totally sure when the pluses are gonna drop. I'm thinking it's probably gonna be a week after, but I don't know. But when they do, just, do your best to work up to a 5. And yeah, that would be roughly the same. So yeah, just do heroic dungeons, do some mythics, and yeah, just work your way up there. I feel like that's all I got to say. So I hope that helped you guys. If anyone out there is going in solo and you want people to level with, just let me know. We've got groups forming over in the Mist of Darkness community, I'm sure we could, you know, place you in a leveling group. I hope you guys have a great time in BFA, and yeah, happy hunting, and you know, yeah, that's really all I got to say. So we'll see you in BFA. And one last thing I'd like to mention is those that come to my channel regularly, yeah, bear with me for the first week, because the first week of an expansion I usually don't post any videos, but you know, I will be doing recordings while I'm doing, you know, certain things in BFA, and the recordings will get out there. But yeah, for the first week there's generally nothing out, so yeah, I won't be doing any recordings until I'm at least max level. So that's all I got to say, guys. I'm just gonna leave you with that. I hope it helped you out. If you have any questions, definitely leave one in the comment. And if you need someone to level with, you know, yeah, just let me know and we'll set you up. Or you can come to the Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/mistofdarkness, and there's gonna be a bunch of us leveling over there. And yeah, have fun. And we will see you later. Bye, guys.